Alright, it's time to create our first Next.js app. I'm on the official website of Next.js. Let's build our app by using what they recommend in the docs in the Getting Started section. Now, the first thing we need to do is make sure we meet the requirements before we install Next.js. So as part of the system requirements, they recommend using Node.js 10.13 or later installed before proceeding. It's always a good idea to use the latest stable version of Node.js installed. So if I go to the official site for Node.js, the latest stable version is 14.16.1. So please make sure you have this installed before proceeding. The next thing we need to do is make sure we are using one of these operating systems. Since I do meet both these requirements, I do have this Node version installed. At the same time, I also am using macOS. I am going to proceed to the setup section. Now, in the setup section, they do recommend creating a new Next.js app using Create Next App. So what exactly is Create Next App? Create Next App is a simple CLI tool that will enable you to quickly start building a new Next.js app with everything set up for you. Now, isn't this awesome? It is officially maintained by the creators of Next.js and the recommended way to create a new Next.js app. Now, to create a project using Create Next App, you could either run npx create next app or you could use yarn create next app. There are two really popular package managers that you might have heard. One is npm, which is Node Package Manager, and two is Yarn, which is the Yarn Package Manager. I have added links to both of them in the resources section. If you do want to install npm or Yarn, please make sure to check their docs out. This would be the link for npm, and I have also linked Yarn documentation as well. I'm going to use npm as my package manager throughout this course. You can also use Yarn if you like. Honestly, both are great, and you should do what you're comfortable with. Heading back to the Next.js docs. Well, we just talked about npm, but then what exactly is npx? npx is a Node.js package runner. It is a tool for executing Node.js packages. So just like we use npm for managing dependencies in our project, we would use npx for managing and running executables. So in our case, Create Next App is that executable. It is a CLI tool. So what npx will do is it will temporarily install Create Next App as step 1, and then it will execute it for us as well as step number 2. Before npx, running an executable was very difficult, but after, it has made our life really easy. If you haven't used npx before, now is a good time to start. One thing to note about npx, you do get npx out of the box with npm starting version 5.2 or later. So please make sure you have that specific npm version installed. But if you do need more information, I have also added links and lots more information on this in the resources section. So please check it out before you proceed. Now, heading back to our Next.js app. All right, now it's time to create our next app. So I'm going to copy this command and head over to my terminal. Now, as I do that, I'm going to copy paste this command and press enter. Now it's asking me for the name of my project. Since we are discovering coffee stores, we are going to say Discover Coffee Stores as the name of our app. Once I hit enter, it is creating a new Next.js app in this specific directory, and it's installing these 3 dependencies using npm as a package manager. Now, with Create Next App, it allows you to create a new Next.js app within seconds, and you will see that. It has 0 config setup, so you don't need to set up anything other than to install using Create Next App and get started right away. And Next.js packages a lot of things out of the box. You get built-in routing, you get a built-in way to add style, and lots more fun stuff that we will explore more in the project. Now, having said that, our app has been successfully installed. Let's take a look at the several commands that we can possibly run. Now, Next.js does provide us with a few commands out of the box. So let's take a look. The first one being npm run dev, which will start the development server. Now, since we want to get started right away and start developing locally, we would want a development server. So this is the command that we would go for. But let's take a look at the other commands. It also provides us with npm run build, which builds the app for production, and npm start, which runs the built app in production. Now, we will definitely take a look at these commands when we get ready to build our app and deploy our app to production. But for now, let's go ahead and start a development server because I'm very excited to get started. As I do that, I'm going to copy paste and hit enter. Whoops! So something went wrong. There is an error and it tells me that there is no such file or directory in this specific location. So I'm going to make sure I'm in the right directory. ls. Okay, so I do need to change my directory first before I can run that command again. So I'm going to say discover coffee stores. All right, sweet. As you see, it has already installed node modules for us, but it has also provided a few directories that we will check out in the next lesson. But for now, let's run npm run dev. All right, sweet. So npm run dev internally runs Next.dev, which started our development server on port 3000. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this specific URL and head over to the browser. Now, as I do that, press enter. Boom, there you go. Congratulations. You have just created your first Next.js app. Isn't this awesome? This was so fast. I am so excited to show you all the cool features that Next.js has to offer. But for now, I'll see you in the next one.